The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Robbie Ross with the Ross Report for 912 Sports. This week we highlight two former Glenn Academy baseball players making some waves on the college ranks. First up, Sean Munoz, pitcher for South Georgia State College over in Douglas, was named the GCAA Pitcher of the Week last week. Munoz, of course, pitched for Glenn Academy last year in fine fashion, coming off the bench in relief most of the time. That sidewinder style also could come over the top with a fastball when needed, really dominating for Glenn Academy last week as a South Georgia State College player, where he won, as I said, GCAA Pitcher of the Week honors. He was 1-0 with one save, 6.2 innings pitched, 6 2/3 innings pitched, I should say. 3 hits, 2 runs, no earned runs, and he struck out 6, a 0.0 ERA last week, and .064 walks plus hits per inning pitch. So congratulations to Sean Munoz, the GCAA Pitcher of the Week, doing a fine job over there in Douglas pitching for South Georgia State College. Randon Jernigan, a star on the baseball diamond and the football field at Glenn Academy, making news this week, as not only is Randon on the roster for the Diamond Dogs, 2 for 4 on the year, 6 runs scored, an RBI for Georgia's baseball team, but Randon now showing up on the University of Georgia football roster. Congratulations to Sean Munoz once again from South Georgia State College, the GCAA Pitcher of the Week, and Randon Jernigan. Look forward to seeing you on the football field up in Athens for the University of Georgia. I'm Robbie Ross. This has been the Ross Report on 912 Sports.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, and joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing today, buddy?
Good, Sean. Good to be with you once again. Another busy week in the 912 in terms of high school sports, huh?
Yeah, man, everything's going on wide open. Got spring sports. Everybody's right in the middle of region play. Baseball's rolling good. Soccer, everything's rolling right along. So, but we're going to start, Kevin, with a little bit of out-of-season stuff. Had a big basketball all-star tournament this past weekend and had a lot of kids from this area represented very well up there. It was the, I guess, the Georgia Basketball Coaches Association and the Georgia's Coaches Association that put on this all-star. And what they did is they had a couple of junior teams and a couple of senior teams, and then they went out and did some exhibition games up there to kind of highlight the talent that's here in Georgia. But like I said, Kevin, we had several girls from this area that were a part of it. So let's just talk a little bit about those ladies and how they performed up there.
Yeah, and of course we had girls and guys. But,
guys, too, right?
Yeah. It's a postseason basketball deal, an all-star kind of thing, if you want. Between the organizations that you mentioned, and it's really just a chance for some of the best players in the state to get together and have a little fun and enjoy the rewards of a good season individually or by their team. And of course, they get a chance to showcase their talents maybe one more time for anybody that might be looking, including those college recruiters. And I'm sure some of those were there as well. But the North-South games, I think, is always something that the kids look forward to. And we did have several representatives from the area, like you say. On the girls' side, the two post players for Brunswick that led the way for the Lady Pirates this year, Shemaya Flanders and Sinead Jackson, were both in the junior game. So, of course, both of those girls are coming back to play for Maria Mangram's Lady Pirates next year. And also in that game is Tree McClendon from Ware County. Of course, she was on the floor. And then in the senior game, Natalie Herron from Pierce County, who not only eclipsed the 1,000-point mark, but the 2,000-point mark in her high school career this year, played on the senior squad. Now, in the boys, we also had several players represented. Leslie Black from Statesboro was in the junior game, I believe, as well. And then also we had several players that was named All-State from the area as well. Would you like me to go ahead and run down all the All-State players?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that. And Kevin, it's funny, almost every one of those players that you mentioned have been highlighted with our Coastal Pines Player of the Month or Coastal Pines Player of the Week. You mentioned Tree, you mentioned Flanders, and then I can't remember the other.
Jackson,
yeah. So Natalie, Natalie Harris, all these people we've already, have featured them as at one time or another as either a player of the week or a player of the month, depending on what time of the year it was.
Yeah, for sure. And so all the girls that played in those games, whether juniors or seniors, made the all-state team in girls in their respective classifications. Shemaya Flanders and Sinead Jackson from Brunswick, Tree McClendon from Ware County there in 5A. Of course, Natalie Herron in AAA with Pierce County. Also going back, Madison Lee from Statesboro made the 6A team along with Tanaya Bowman from Bradwell Institute. Of course, we featured her on one of our cover in a recent magazine. Her and her teammate were our cover story there. Also from Tattnall County, we had Macy Austell there in AAA. And then several girls in single A from those really good Clinch and Charlton teams. From Clinch County, we had Amayon Grady and Tanaya Dorsey. And from Charlton County, we had Jordan Vernon and Michaela Gerard. So some good representation from across the 912 area code on the girls' all-state teams. Now on the boys' all-state teams, again, Mr. Black there from Statesboro made the team. Then in, I guess it was AAA, Keelan Murphy, I couldn't read my own writing, from Tattnall, made the team as well. Then We had a couple of guys also make the team from around the area. Jarvis Wright and Elias Williams from Charlton made it as well. And then I think
the two kids from Vidalia, right? The two kids from Vidalia.
Yeah, the two kids from Vidalia. Ty Daly, he was actually the co-player of the year in 2A, and then Bryson Whitted also from Vidalia. So they were well represented on the boys' all-state teams as well.
Right. Well, like I said, a lot of good basketball played in this area, Kevin. Like I said, Brunswick had that deep run that you followed with and broadcast all their playoff games on 912sports.net. So, like I said, a lot of good basketball. The scary thing and the good thing for Brunswick, both of them girls coming back, for their senior season there. So, Maria Mangum, and I don't know if we mentioned this or not, Kevin, but Maria Mangum was also a coordinator who is the head coach at Brunswick as part of this thing. And then also Mandy Leakenfelder, who's the Ware County coach. She was a coordinator up there as well. So both of those, coaches for girls teams for Brunswick and Ware heavily involved in this all-star game.
Yeah, Lametrius Ray, the boys coach at Wayne County, also involved. And I forgot to mention one of the Yellow Jackets, one of his own players made All-State there in 5A, and that was Jamison Johnson representing Wayne County on the 5A All-State team.
Right. So, like I said, a lot of great basketball being played. Kind of a out-of-season story there, but hey, nonetheless, a great weekend there for that All-Star game. But Kevin, we'll move right along and jump right into baseball. Kind of want to talk about what's going on in 5A with 912sports.net. We're carrying all the Gators games this year. The Gators had a big region series with veterans last week. Took game one in a very tight game, a pitcher's duel, Kevin. The Gators were able to win that game 1-0, and then had a doubleheader up there on Friday in veterans, and the Gators bats really came alive. They were swinging the bats well, came away with a 13-4 victory in game one, and then come back in the nightcap, the second game of the doubleheader, and got a 9-4 victory in that game as well. So dominating pitching there for the Gators. Like I said, we're swinging some really hot bats, but they go 3-0 against veterans and put themselves in the driver's seat, for that region. The other region contest that was a really big game series was Coffee taking on Wayne. And Coffee was able to take the first two and was, like I said, in a position to sweep Wayne. But Wayne was able to come back and salvage that game 3 there at home and win that game. I believe it was 3-1. But Coffee still comes away in that series, Kevin, 2-1. So kind of got, Wayne behind the 8 ball there being, 2 games down to Coffee and still got to play, 3 more series in that region contest. So, but like I said, a lot more baseball to come. This was just the first region series for this 5A region. So we'll see what shakes out. But again, Gators are off to a good start, 3-0. They're playing Warner Robins this week. We'll update you on that series, on next week's show. But like I said, put themselves in the driver's seat, winning that series 3-0.
Yeah, and those 3 teams, representing South Georgia out of that region with those Warner Robins schools are all very capable of getting hot and making a run in the postseason, as you know, Sean. So that's going to be a good race in that region. Good to see Ware get off to a good start, and of course, Coffee taking 2 out of 3 over Wayne County. We'll see. Again, that means they have the tiebreaker head-to-head, should that matter in terms of seeding for the playoffs later on down the line. And I think we very well could run into that in Region 2-6A as well, which is a region I follow with Glenn and Brunswick. But Wayne kind of struggling a little bit right now. I know they had a young squad to start the season, played a tough non-region schedule, and so they're going to certainly be battle-tested there in that region. And, of course, Luke Boykin didn't start the season with them. Really not sure 100% what his playing status is right now with Wayne County. But obviously they need him in the lineup going down the stretch. If at all, if they can get him healthy and keep him in the lineup, that's going to be a big plus for them. But kind of looking for Wayne to maybe turn the corner here. And I'll actually get to see those guys this week, or have seen those guys this week. And, of course, they'll play Glen Academy on Thursday night over here at Adam Wainwright Field as well tonight, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, so like I said, we'll see if Wayne, and like I said, I know Boykin did not play in game 1 against Coffee. I don't know if that was just a one thing, because I haven't seen a stat sheet for game 2 and game 3, but I know he did not start or did not play in that game 1 against Coffee. And anytime you got a player like Luke Boykin who's not on the field, definitely does not help your chances, in winning baseball games, because I mean he's a special player. He's an elite athlete. Luke's a kid that's on our cover going to the University of Georgia, so hopefully he'll get back out there on the field soon and start contributing there for the Wayne County Yellow Jackets. But hey, let's take a quick break, Kevin. We'll pay some bills here, satisfy some sponsors, and we'll come right back here with more On Air with 912 Sports.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Welcome back, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. Kevin, you guys had a big city championship over there in Brunswick in the Golden Isles last week, and on Golden Isles baseball, you did all 3 games there between the city championship between Glenn Academy and the Brunswick High Pirates. A lot of changes in that series, a lot of games being moved around during weather and all, but a great series all in all, Kevin. So kind of give us a recap of what went on there in the city championship.
Yeah, it's always fun when the two teams get together, and of course, it's fun to call all 3 of them for 912 Sports Golden Isles baseball. But you're right, Sean. I mean, weather played a role in this series again. We've had 3 weeks of region play, and so far, weather has impacted all 3 weeks and forced games to be moved around and whatnot. And of course, last week, the games from the previous week had to be continued into last week, but. Again, anyway, Brunswick and Glenn, 2 really good ball games. The first 2 ball games, Glenn won 5-2 in the opening game Monday a week ago over at Bud Couch Field. That's Brunswick's home field. Brunswick returned a favor on the middle game. Now, that was supposed to be played last Wednesday. Couldn't be played because of inclement weather. Also, rain all last Thursday, so they didn't even try to play, and rescheduled game 2 for last Friday and game 3 for last Saturday. Brunswick won game 2, 3-2, and it got a little crazy, a little hairy towards the end. Brunswick led that game 3-0 and then 3-1, but Glenn Academy loaded the bases with 2 outs, all on walks in the bottom of the 7th. Brunswick made a pitching change, went to their ace, Chamberlain Den. Of course, he inherited that situation. He proceeded to then walk in a run, walking the first batter he faced. Of course, that was charged to the starter, Elijah Wellman, but then Brunswick got out of the game. I think it was Gus Gandy hit one on the nose out to left field, and thought you might be a gapper there. But anyway, Brunswick caught the ball and escaped, as I called it, with a win at the Wayno there in that Friday game. So that set up the game 3 for all the marbles, the deciding game 3, the rubber matchup, and Glenn ran away from that one ran away with that one from the beginning. Scored 4 runs in the top of the first. Chamberlain Dent was back on the mound for the Pirates. Just didn't have his best stuff. He's their ace, and they really were aggressive, swinging the bats right out of the gate, and played at 4 runs, including 2 on a 2-run homer by Tom Eccles. And Eccles was his counterpart on the mound for Glenn Academy. He went back to the hill for Glenn in game 3 as Glenn's ace, with so much distance between games 1 and 3. Both of those guys also pitched Monday. And Tom Eccles pitched another good game for Glenn, and Glenn Academy won that game 14-3, and just ran away with it from the beginning. But Tom Eccles had a heck of a series, Sean. He got 2 pitching wins, the one in game 1 going 6 full innings, and then the one the other day on Saturday, pitching the first 5 innings. And he came into the games, into the series, into the week 6-0 on the year. So with those 2 wins, he goes to 8-0, and he had a 1.04 ERA, which pretty much held up through both of those starts. But then at the plate, Sean, he was also very hot and heck on wheels for Brunswick High to get out. But he was 4 for 4 in game 1 last Monday night, driving in 3 of Glen Academy's 5 runs. Went 0 for 3 in the middle game for the Red Terriers as he started that game at first base, but came back on Saturday with another big effort. I think he was 2 for 3. So he ends up going 6 for 10 in the series, drove in 3 more runs in Saturday's game, of course, 2 on that home run to finish with 7 RBIs. So a big series for Eccles, swinging and pitching. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Go ahead. Allergies kicking in. It's spring in Georgia for sure.
Yeah, but I believe you guys also honored him with the player of the series.
Yes, we did. The Glenn County Sports Hall of Fame has a agreement with Glenn County Schools to have a player of the series in baseball because they play 3 games, and then we do players of the game in the second basketball games between Glenn and Brunswick, and of course we gave those away back in the winter, and then in football. We do a player of the game and, awarded that in the fall as well. So he ended up being the player of the series with those 2 pitching wins and the red hot bat of his as well.
Yeah, I think very, very deserving there. Tom's playing some really, really good baseball right now. So, congratulations to him. Kevin, a lot of other things going on in that same region that, that those guys play in. And really kind of a shocker to me, Richmond Hill kind of put themselves in the driver's seat, taking 2 or 3 away from Glenn in the series when they played Glenn, but then go 0 for against Effingham. And not a lot of people saw that coming, or Sean didn't. So
no, Kevin didn't either. But speaking of weather impacting things, so Glenn and Richmond Hill had to finish out their series from the week before last week. So for Brunswick and Glenn both, they had a game last Tuesday. Brunswick had to finish out at Statesboro. They lost that game. And then Glenn had to go to Richmond Hill and finish out that series. Of course, as it turned out, they played Tuesday in both of those games. Didn't play again Wednesday and Thursday. But Glenn lost that game up in Richmond Hill 7-5. And I think Leighton Finley started again for Richmond Hill in that ball game. And I thought that might come back to haunt the Terriers, because they had then lost the tiebreaker with Richmond Hill taking 2 out of 3 in that series, with Glenn already having a tiebreaker over South Effingham, and then of course now having 2 out of 3 against Brunswick as well. But with Richmond Hill losing 3 games last week, Effingham games 1, 2, and 3 got swept. That throws a monkey wrench into the situation where they basically gave that Glenn victory back. And then also gave one to the field. Now, we say that, but Effingham's rolling right along, undefeated right now. They're kind of the surprise of the region. So when you look at the top 4 teams in that region, you certainly got to include them as one of them when this thing plays out. Somebody's going to get left at home that could be a playoff team. And right now, it's a logjam at the top with everybody having, a week off or the rainouts and different things like that. So you just kind of got to let this thing play out. But Effingham sitting on top of the region, Statesboro right up there as well. Then you kind of got the big 3, South Effingham with just 2 losses. They've already had an off week. And then Glenn and Richmond Hill with maybe a tougher slate so far than South Effingham, having already lost 4 region games apiece. So could be a good team finishing 5th in this league that doesn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and we've said that about several regions in the past, Kevin, that somebody, a really good football, a really good baseball team, or a really good basketball team, or a really good football team, at the end, when it's all said and done, is going to be sitting at home when they're probably definitely a playoff caliber team. Just was a situation where the numbers didn't work for them. And it sounds like in this region, there's 5 really good teams and only 4 spots.
Yeah, next week, Glenn's off in region play this week, do play the 2 games that they've had against, Wayne County, of course, weather permitting. But they'll play Effingham next week, and that's going to turn out to be a big series now in terms of, again, you want to win 2 out of 3 every time if you can. Certainly, the goal is 3 out of 3, but 2 out of 3 gets you the series clincher. And, of course, you have the tiebreaker should you get involved in a tied situation, certainly head-to-head with anybody. So that's going to be a huge series next week. And then, Sean, I remember, last year we got down to the end and we were trying to figure out what games we might broadcast. We kind of did kind of like the NFL flex schedule, and we've got that worked in again this week or this year. And I know Glenn's going to play Statesboro at the end. Of course, they're going to have the home field advantage this year, whereas last year they did not. But South Effingham and Richmond Hill played it last week, and I mark it down. Something big is going to be on the line in that one.
Exactly. Yeah, that'll be a huge series that everybody in that region will definitely be paying attention to.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Well, Kevin, one of the things that we paid attention to that kind of caught us off guard, and I don't think we're breaking any big secrets here, but there's a lot of swirling around that our buddy Randon Jernigan, who played quarterback at Brunswick, played receiver at Glenn Academy, big-time football player, went to the University of Georgia on a baseball scholarship, but now all of a sudden he's listed on the football roster. Tell us what you know.
Well, I tell you what, yeah, this is kind of interesting, and I know Randon pretty well, covering his high school career and so far his career at Georgia. And I grew up, with his dad playing hot ball in the front yard, and his dad was almost as fast as Randon. So obviously he scored a lot of touchdowns on us. But I know Randy real well. I've gotten to know Randon's mom, Krista, real well, and certainly know some of the other family members as well as a longtime family in this community. So I hope to talk to, several more people about this, including Randon himself, in the days going forward. But, Sean, this is not really a baseball player just trying to become a football player and just kind of doing this on a whim. Randon had at least a dozen offers somewhere in that neighborhood coming out of high school to play college football. And so he had a decision to make when he got ready to go, to college at the end of his senior year. Was he going to play college baseball once he got that scholarship offer to Georgia, or was he going to go the football route? And he was taking several visits to football schools, and I won't go through all the schools, but I know one offer that he had was at Georgia Southern, and he would have, fit into that offense. And I do believe he had a workout with Georgia, before that baseball offer came in at one of those, camps that they have. But then there's some more to that story that we won't get into necessarily. But so, this came a little bit out of left field, to use a baseball term. It's not totally shocking, but it is surprising. And so he's going through spring practice with the Bulldogs. You can look on their spring roster, and it's listed on there. Randon Jernigan at wide receiver from Brunswick, Georgia, the whole 9 yards. So this really did kind of start coming out this week. Some of the websites up there that cover Georgia football quite regularly have this on there. And, he's working out at wide receiver. But, Sean, you're right, sort of an interesting path to Georgia for Randon. I mean, he maybe the transfer portal should be named after Randon Jernigan. I don't know. I say that jokingly. But he did start his career starting as a freshman quarterback for Victor Floyd over at Brunswick. Things happened. He transferred to Glenn. The first year he played with them was when Glenn went to the state championship game against Allatoona. He was a wideout, a wide receiver on that team. And then his junior year, he got in the offensive backfield as more or less a slot back. Of course, that offense included DJ Dallas as a quarterback. So, you know, they were in the same backfield together. That team lost in the state quarterfinals to a really good Northside Warner Robins team. And then Randon's senior year, he took over at quarterback running that shotgun spread offense or triple option offense that Coach Rock and his crew installed over there at Glenn. And, I hate to kind of go back down memory lane, Sean, but they lost a tough one over there in the semifinals to Lee County. Put the ball on the ground, let's just say a few too many times, and Lee County took advantage of it, but still had a chance to win that ball game late in the final seconds, and it didn't happen. But Randon was a heck of a football player, not the biggest of guys, but certainly has a lot of speed that people have seen on the baseball field as well. And I don't know exactly where he's fitting in with UGA right now. I mean, I know they're a little short overall in terms of numbers on that football field. And, you know, who knows, you know, where he might end up. He might be a scout team member. He might be returning punts and kickoffs. Who knows? He might be out catching passes in Sanford Stadium on a Saturday afternoon for the defending national champions. But I know he's probably a little bit disappointed with where baseball's ended up. He kind of got lost in the shuffle last year, didn't really play as much as he would have liked, and just a crowded outfield that he was in, and some guys were playing well. And he just got put behind the 8 ball there, I guess you could say. We had him on last year, Sean, you might remember, before Georgia came this way to play Georgia Southern. And, you know, he's always a good interview with us. And then, you know, so this year he's seen limited playing time. I know he's batting 500 in limited at-bats. And, again, just not getting a whole lot of playing time. So I'm sure, you know, that kind of went into the decision to play football and give it a try. Not really sure what the conversations were with Kirby Smart and the offensive coaches over there in the Butts-Mehre building. But I do know that as of this week, I think this is accurate, that he wasn't traveling to away games with the baseball team. But he seems to have Scott Strickland, the baseball coach at Georgia, his blessings to do this. And I know Randon, I thought at one time, was scheduled to graduate this spring. This is his true 4th year up there, right, playing baseball and now football at the University of Georgia. But something I read kind of sounded like the baseball coach Strickland, his comments mentioned that this would be an opportunity for Randon after he in terms of pursuing his graduate degree after this fall. So I'm not sure if he's still on track to graduate in the spring or the fall, but that's kind of immaterial. But it sounds like he could be headed on into grad school there at UGA. And if that's the case, he would probably be, you know, taking that, or he could, you know, use that COVID year, I guess, as terms of his eligibility. So either way you slice it, it looks like Randon Jernigan could very well be dressing out in those pretty silver breeches this fall in some kind of capacity for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on this. Kind of exciting news, because it's like I said. I mean, we both know the kid can play. So I mean, like I said, he's lightning fast. He's got good hands. He's a good route runner. Like I said, Georgia's kind of down in the receiving part. So, hey, whether he does his part on, you know, the field on Saturday or practice or scout team or whatever it is, you know, I mean, if he can help, then, you know, let's get him in there and let him help. So.
And, you know, obviously we can maybe just add Randon Jernigan to the list. You know, we got some other guys up there contributing. Of course, Destin Bennett is coming back. Warren McClendon is going to be back on that offensive line as one of Georgia's leaders in the trenches. Jack Podlesny is going to be, you know, kicking again for the Georgia Bulldogs. And, of course, we got some other guys that are going to factor into the mix that possibly this year, you know, after coming off injuries and different things. But you mentioned some of those in one of our conversations off the air before we take this segment.
Walt Tower, the kid from Liberty, you'll see him a lot on the defensive line. He'll be a factor. He'll be filling some of those holes that Jordan Davis and Wyatt left. So it'll be interesting to see you know, how much playing time that he does get. But he got a lot of playing time this year. He just wasn't that frontline guy, but he could really step right into that role this season. So we'll follow along closely with that as well. So
but exciting to see 912 Bulldogs up there in Athens.
Exactly. Interesting stuff there with Randon. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hey, we appreciate everybody watching tonight on air with 912 Sports. We'll be right back here next week. So come and join us. Until then, may all your check marks go in the win column.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.